Hello everyone, my name is Uli and in this video we're going to take a look at APIMatic CI/CD, also known as continuous integration and continuous deployment pipeline. The CI/CD pipeline is used to continuously integrate and deploy your APIMatic portal. This automation is set up so that whenever there is a change in your APIMatic portal, for example, you make some changes to your documentation or you change your API specification file, you don't have to regenerate and redeploy the portal manually. Instead, the CI/CD pipeline leverages GitHub Actions and our internal APIs to do that automatically. Going into more detail about the CI/CD pipeline, we have this GitHub repository that is hosting the input for the portal. We also refer to this entire package as a build file. The build file contains the artifacts needed to generate an APIMatic portal using the docs as code approach. We're not going to cover the docs as code approach in detail in this video since we already have that covered in a separate video, and we'll share a link to that in the description as well. So to give you a brief overview of what you would need to change, you would need to add your API specification file in the spec folder over here. As you can see, we already have the APIMatic calculator file within here. And then once you go back, we have the APIMatic build.json file, and here you would add any configuration settings, any languages that you'd like to enable, or any theming settings would go in over here as well. So as I mentioned earlier, this integration leverages GitHub Actions to regenerate and redeploy your portal. The GitHub Actions workflow is triggered as soon as there are any changes detected to your build file, which would be any of the files in this repository over here. So let's take a deeper look at the workflow for GitHub Actions. So this is our GitHub Action workflow present over here, and it has the following steps. So for step number 1, as soon as any changes are made to the repo, this GitHub action gets triggered. In step number 2, what happens is we zip the entire input package from the repository, and then we send it as an input to the APIMatic's internal API to generate the portal. Once we're able to generate the portal, we just extract that newly generated static portal. And then in this section over here, we call the deployment API for Netlify to deploy this portal to the website. And here you would use your own custom deployment method. For example, if you're not deploying to Netlify, you're deploying to a different hosting service. So you're going to use the API for that service over here. Alright, to set this up for yourself, you would first need to fork the repository. In the interest of saving time, we've already forked the repository over here. Next, what you will need to do is you will need to go into your specification folder and replace this API specification file with your own specification file. And then after that, you can make any changes to the configuration for the portal that you want by changing or altering things in the APIMatic build.json file over here. Once you have the repository set up according to your requirements, you're now going to need to alter the GitHub secrets. To do that, go on over to the settings section, select secrets and variables, and under that we have actions. So here you're going to add a new repository secret. Here goes the repository secret's name, and then here you add the secret itself. So what's it going to look like? It's going to look like this, where you have an API key, a Netlify auth token, and then a Netlify site ID. The API key is APIMatic's API key that is used to authenticate with our internal API, whereas the Netlify auth token and site ID are for your Netlify deployment. Again, these two are optional in case you are not deploying to Netlify and your choice of deployment is on a different site or service. Alright people, so now that we have shown you how to set up everything, we're going to show you a sample portal that has been hosted via the CI/CD pipeline, right? So this is our APIMatic portal. As you can see, it's our portal for the calculator API. And here in the how to get started section, or in just in the general section, you can see where at the top it says my navigation title, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this, and I'm going to show you how the portal gets regenerated via GitHub Actions and what does that sort of look like. So to go on to change that, we're going to go to our APIMatic build.json. As you can see, we have the my navigation title field over here. We're going to alter that. We're going to alter that to I'm going to call it my CI/CD pipeline because that's what this video is about as well, right? So we're going to commit this change, and you're going to see as soon as we end up committing this change, that will trigger our GitHub action workflow. So taking a look at our GitHub action workflow right now, we can just go on over here, right? Let me see. Okay, no, in the GitHub action section, and you can see it's under processing. So all of these steps have already been concluded, and now it has completed the job. So it has deployed to Netlify successfully as well. So that means when we go on over here and we refresh this portal, since it is hosted on Netlify, we should get the latest version of the portal that should have my CI/CD pipeline in the title over here. So let's hit refresh. And as you can see, since we made only one change to the portal, but it was a change regardless to our files, we now have the my CI/CD pipeline showing up over here in our portal. Alright people, so that was our quick video on the CI/CD pipeline, how to set it up, how it runs, and we covered all of that good stuff in this video. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to support@APIMatic.io, and we'd be more than happy to answer all of your queries.